Welcome everybody, it is the Crazy Scrub here today with a guide on how to start gaming on a PC on a budget. It is possible to game on a PC on a budget, seeing as the gameplay I'm using right now, Left 4 Dead 2, is made on a laptop. So yeah, enough about that, let's continue with the video. So first off, what kind of PC should you buy? What I recommend is that you build a gaming PC. Building a gaming PC can be expensive, but at the same time, it can also get really cheap. So the price easily ranges from $350 to over $10,000. So how to build one is surprisingly easy. There are a bunch of tutorials on YouTube, but the basic parts of a PC are CPU, GPU, motherboard, RAM, and hard drive. So I'll have an example of I'll have a tutorial in the description, and I'll also have a PC build that's cheap for you guys also in the description, which will probably be around $350 to around $500. So yeah. Secondly, where should you get games if you don't know much about gaming on a PC? But if you don't go to a store and buy like a CD or DVD box of games, which sometimes it's good to get those, but if you're like a collector such. But here are some options for online options that you can use. The first option I got for you is Steam. This is by far the best place to buy video games for PC. This place has games in the millions. Also, you could make friends and play online with each other on there, and it also allows you to chat with a microphone, which I'll get into later. Every couple of months there are these huge sales that make the game extremely cheap. For if a game's $30, it can go from half off to 80% off, so it can get extremely cheap to $10 to below $1 and $10 or lower. So yeah, there's that. For games such as Counter-Strike, Global Offensive, and Team Fortress 2, you can buy and sell skins for guns, which is basically, if you haven't heard of it yet, basically it's like a paint job for your gun, and you can buy multiple of them, but that costs money. So yeah, you don't necessarily make the paint job, you just buy them. But enough about that. There are other things for TF2, such as they have skins, and they also have certain hats and other items for your characters. So yeah, Steam is a really good place to get games. Never mind about that. But the only problems I can think of is that sometimes it just disconnects from the internet randomly, and sometimes when you launch up a game, it just slows down for a bit. But yeah, so off to the next option. Next option I got for you is Origin. In my opinion, this might be the worst of the ones I have on the list. It only has EA games, which is not necessarily the best idea. It's like Steam only has Valve games. Although these games are really good, you might get bored of them after a while. But that's not necessarily the thing for EA these days, since they mostly consist of FIFA and Sims. And the only really good game that I could think of from EA over the past couple of years is Titanfall. So yeah, there's that. The only good option I think for this is if a game you want is not on Steam from EA, you just go onto Origin and buy it from there. The only pro I can think of is that you can stream games. That's all. But at the same time, Steam sorta does that. But yeah. So next off, I have Uplay, which is basically Origin but with Ubisoft games, which already has a wider variety of games, which everyone hates it on it a lot, but it's not that bad. So you can play games such as the Far Cry series, Rayman Legends, Watch Dogs, etc. That's all I can say about it. Then the final option I have are those great key sites such as G2A or Kingwin. Now all I can say about it is like cheap games, Xbox Live codes, and like CSGO skins. That's pretty much all I can say about it. Oh yeah, no, actually, they mostly go to the other 3 sites such as Origin, Uplay, and Steam, but yeah, that's all. Thirdly, what mic or headset should you use for playing multiplayer? While using a webcam mic might be okay, I have still 2 options for like mics. The first off is the Blue Snowball, which is a good mic. I use it myself. It's actually really good, and it connects through USB, making it easy to use. Doesn't need any extra software, and you can buy it for around $40. But the only problem I can think of it is that like the stand that comes with it isn't like the best, so you should probably invest in like a stand for it. But that's all. And the headset option I have for it is the Plantronics Audio 355 headset, which this headset is good and cheap, which usually doesn't mix in together. But this headset is made from Plantronics, which is a company that specializes at audio communication, so it by default it already has extremely good mic quality, and it runs for about $25. Although it's not the best looking one, it still is a good mic and headset for what you're paying. So next off, should you use a controller for playing certain games? Although you could use a controller, you're only limited to very few games that have controller support. Like I can come up with a couple of games that on the top of my head, Castle Crashers, like Super Meat Boy. Usually it's like 2D platformer beat 'em up games. Yeah. What I recommend is that you buy like a wired Xbox 360 USB controller. It's probably the best option for you, cause you don't need that much money to buy a controller these days. It runs for around $25. And lastly, what monitor should you use for the thing? I recommend the BenQ like GL260HM 24-inch screen LED lit monitor. I know that's a mouthful, but bear with me. It's 1080p, which is a must-have these days. It has 4 millisecond response time, which meaning if like you press a button on like the keyboard, that's how long it would take to get to the monitor, which is actually pretty good for first-person shooters such as CSGO. And yeah, so what kind of keyboard and mouse should you use for like gaming? For what I recommend is like Razer keyboards, such as like the keyboard Chroma, like the Chroma keyboards, which are actually pretty good since they have like the ones that I can come up with are the Razer Black Widow, the Deathstalker, and they all have chroma options too, so it'll make it look really good. And like it doesn't take much force to press on press the button. Oh, my bike just fell. Whatever. So basically, that's what you need to start gaming on a PC. Although, like, yeah, it can get really expensive. It's really cheap if you buy the stuff I've listed or other alternatives to that. Make it even cheaper. So don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitter. And yeah, peace out, guys.